Alright bro, this is going to be a very impactful video for anyone who's willing to listen. The hub and fapping has completely ruined my life. My generation of young men who are in their 20s now, who are maybe 22, 23, 24, 25 years old, we got lucky in a way because we were addicted to this sort of stuff at about 11, 12 years old. That's whenever we really discovered this sort of stuff. We now look at the world today and you have literal 7, 8-year-old children with iPads addicted to porn. Just think of that for a second. Imagine if you're a young man watching this and you're someone who wants to have a family whenever you're older. Imagine your 7-year-old son. Imagine you have a son, right? You're carrying on your bloodline and you find out that your 7-year-old son is addicted to the hub. And we live in a world today where pornography and fapping is actually encouraged, where doctors will tell you to fap because it reduces the risk of prostate cancer, and they say it's the most healthiest thing you can do is to fap. You will have literal influencers telling you to watch it because it apparently makes you understand your body and what you actually find attractive more. No, it doesn't. It screws up your mind and it completely destroys you. And the reason why it does this, bro, is because the more you fap and the more you watch the hub, the more your tolerance gets for what you're attracted in. So hear me out. If you're somebody who just gets turned on by girls in bikinis, right? The more times you fap and you watch that sort of stuff, the quicker you will get used to it, and then you no longer find that sort of stuff attractive. And you have to then look for something a bit more extreme to then get you off. The further down the rabbit hole you go and the further you keep going, you end up getting to a stage where you no longer end up getting aroused by just naked girls. You end up getting aroused by really screwed up, messed up crap like anime or whatever. That is what the modern world is considering as healthy. Just think of that for a second, right? Doctors, literal people who call themselves experts in health, mental health and all that in the human body, are encouraging young men, children, to get addicted to porn, which is going to mess up their brains to the point where they end up watching the most fucked up, screwed up crap on the internet to get aroused. And that was me, bro. At a young age, I was fapping all the time. Like, I would do it 2-3 times a day and I wouldn't have a care in the world. I was pulling my straw all day. And I never realized how actually detrimental it was in my life. I would start off watching the most standard, porn videos. The ones you always watch of the guy and the girl, just the normal stuff. And the more and more times I kept doing it, I would find myself going from watching something like that to then watching some extremely screwed up crap, to the point where, like, I would generally just look at myself. Do you ever look at yourself in those moments in like a third person perspective, like you're looking down on yourself, and you just have so much shame in yourself? It messed me up to the point where whenever it came to actually being there with a real woman, I struggled to get aroused. I struggled to get it up. I struggled to get intimate with a girl. I struggled so much in real life with women because I was so aroused by pixels on a screen than actually a real girl in my face. And it truly has messed me up. Kings, like literal kings of like kingdoms and castles, would not see nowhere near as much naked girls as an 11-year-old child right now in this generation. Think about that for a second. The only people who had access to this type of exposure to girls was kings, because if you were a king, you could just have that whenever you wanted. And we live in a generation now where 11-year-old children are seeing more nude women than some conquerors in the past did, some world leaders. Isn't that absolutely crazy? And it just shows you that we're not ready to be exposed to this sort of level of stuff, and how dangerous social media is to all of us. And so many people are so blind that 90% of young fellas will never understand this and never really be aware of this, and they will be destroying their lives. But you're not going to be that. I'm not going to be uploading any more videos about this sort of topic because I've sort of learned a lot, and all the advice and tips that I have are already out there on my channel. Don't listen to health professionals, people who call themselves health professionals. Your fat doctor who's traumatized, who has loads of trauma in their past that they never dealt with, and they're telling you to get addicted to porn and fapping. and they have absolutely zero idea of the actual damage that they're telling people to do. And so many people listen to these people. Don't listen to anyone who tells you to fap. Don't listen to anyone who tells you that porn is healthy, because it's not. These people don't realize the damage that they're actually inflicting on you, because you will get to a stage where your brain is so desensitized and so numb to just standard pleasure, to the point where you have to go looking for it in other means, by watching some really screwed up crap or whatever. If you're a young man watching this, the time is right. The time is now to start getting on self-improvement and stop this addiction and stop fapping. And maybe you have, or maybe you're all on that journey. I hope some of my videos can help you out, and I hope some of the tips that I can bring to the table can actually improve and change your life. Don't waste your time looking back. We're not going that way.